I lean back slightly, my fork resting untouched beside my plate. Autumn beams at me as though she's just offered me a winning lottery ticket instead of a quarter of my own livelihood. May I see what you've prepared? I ask, nodding toward the manila folder beside Dad. He slides it across the table with a satisfied smile. It's already been reviewed by my attorney. All it needs is your signature. The weight of the folder sits heavy in front of me, its edges too sharp, too final. I flip it open with careful fingers. There it is in black and white. A legal agreement, binding and absolute, transferring authority of healing hands to a structure that places Autumn in management with a guaranteed share of profits. My throat tightens. They hadn't invited me here to discuss. They'd invited me to surrender. I can start tomorrow, Autumn chirps, clapping her hands together. I already have so many ideas for redecorating the waiting area. And honestly, your scheduling system is so outdated. Her words dissolve into background noise. My mind drifts to last summer when she helped at the clinic. The double-booked patients left waiting for hours. The angry phone calls from people whose appointments mysteriously vanished. The insurance forms she stuffed into drawers because they were boring. I spent weeks apologizing, scrambling to undo the chaos. I close the folder and set it down with deliberate care. That won't be necessary, I say evenly. Dad frowns. What do you mean? This is a logical arrangement. Family businesses thrive when family runs them. My hand slides to the briefcase resting at my side. The click of the lock echoes through the dining room like a gunshot. For the first time that evening, Dad's confidence wavers. There's something you should see, I say, pulling out a leather portfolio. The one I splurged on after landing the Denver sports medicine contract, a reminder of achievements that were mine alone. I lay the papers on the table, aligning them with the same precision I use when preparing treatment plans. 3 weeks ago, I signed a management services agreement with Colorado Health Care Partners. They'll handle all administrative aspects of healing hands moving forward. Mom's face falters, her hand hovering over her wine glass. Dad's jaw tightens. Autumn blinks, her smile slipping for the first time all evening. You can't make decisions like this without consulting us, Dad snaps. Actually, I can. I slide another document toward him. Section 4.3. No family members may be employed in management without unanimous board approval. And the board, I add, meeting his eyes, is me and my 2 CHP partners. Autumn's face flushes crimson. You did this on purpose. You wanted to cut us out. I made a business decision, I say, my voice steady. One based on experience. From my portfolio I pull another folder, thicker this time. Patient complaints, neatly organized. These are from last summer when you worked at the clinic, I say, sliding it across the table toward Autumn. 15 scheduling errors. 23 unauthorized discounts, including 8 for your sorority sisters. 31 billing code mistakes that nearly triggered an insurance audit. Autumn stares at the folder as though it might explode. Dad shifts uncomfortably. Mom opens her mouth to defend her, then closes it again when she sees the weight of the paperwork. The silence that follows is heavy, but for the first time it doesn't feel like it belongs to them. It belongs to me. The moment I step through my parents' front door, I know something is off. The air feels charged, like the hush before a thunderstorm. Mom's smile stretches just a little too wide as she takes my coat, and Dad's handshake lingers a second too long, firm in that way he uses when he's trying to assert authority. Sierra, honey, so glad you made it, Mom says, her hand guiding me toward the dining room with an unusual insistence. Then there's Autumn. My younger sister practically vibrates with energy, her eyes darting between Mom and Dad with that mischievous gleam I've known since childhood, the one she had right before slipping a whoopee cushion under my chair or tattling on me for sneaking cookies. Only this time she isn't planning a prank. Her excitement feels sharper, calculated. The dining table looks flawless. Mom has pulled out her best china, the crystal glasses that only appear on holidays, and a centerpiece of fresh flowers arranged with a kind of precision that screams special occasion. I slip into my usual seat across from Autumn, trying to steady myself. Dad begins carving the roast beef with the same deliberate movements he's always had, while Mom floats around distributing mashed potatoes, green beans, and the Parker House rolls I've loved since childhood. On the surface, everything feels normal, almost perfect. But then I see it. A manila folder, its corner peeking out from under Dad's napkin, tucked neatly beside his plate. My stomach tightens. Mom clears her throat a little too brightly. "How's the clinic, sweetheart? Still working those crazy hours?" Keep my answer simple. Business is good. We've increased our patient load by 20% this quarter. Dad's eyes flicker toward the folder, just for a second, but I catch it. Autumn lets out a soft snort, her fork clinking against the plate. "All those patients but such a tiny waiting room," she says, smirking. "Someone should really upgrade your office management." The pieces start clicking together in my mind. Whatever is happening here, they've rehearsed it. Dad sets down his fork with a deliberate clink against fine china. "Sierra," he begins, his voice measured, "we've been thinking about the future of your clinic." I freeze mid-bite, the roast beef turning to sawdust in my mouth. Mom jumps in smoothly, as if on cue. "Family businesses need family management, dear. It's the only way to keep healing hands in the family long term." My pulse quickens. "It's not a family business," I say carefully. "I built it myself." "With our support," Dad counters, his hand finally reaching for the folder. "And now Autumn has an excellent proposal that will benefit everyone." Autumn straightens in her chair, her face alight with triumph. "I've worked up a business plan," she announces, almost breathless. "I'll become your practice manager. You can focus on patients while I handle the boring paperwork. I'm only asking for a 25% profit share, which is really reasonable considering all the growth I'll bring." The room falls silent except for the pounding in my ears. This isn't dinner. This is an ambush. Memories come rushing back unbidden. Midnight study sessions after 14-hour shifts, ramen dinners while sending money home to help Autumn through college, the crushing weight of $187,000 in student loans. Every sacrifice, every sleepless night, every step I took to build my clinic brick by brick. And here they sit, waiting for me to sign away a piece of it like it's theirs to give. I force myself to breathe, steadying my voice. I already have a clinic manager. But the look in their eyes tells me this conversation is only just beginning. The silence stretches long enough for the chandelier to hum faintly overhead. Autumn fidgets, flipping the folder shut as though the evidence inside will vanish if she doesn't look at it. Dad clears his throat, gearing up for another counterattack, but I raise a hand before he can speak. "This isn't just about contracts," I say quietly. "It never has been." Their eyes snap to me, wary, as if I've shifted the rules of the game mid-play. For once, I don't shrink back. "I know you think I'm being difficult," I continue. "That I've always been the stubborn one, the hard one. But what you call stubbornness is just me refusing to play the role you've assigned me." Mom stiffens. "No one's assigned you anything." I let out a short laugh, humorless. "Really?" When Autumn dropped out of her internship because it was too stressful, who swooped in to find her another opportunity? When she overdrafted her account, who covered it without hesitation? And when she wanted to experiment at my clinic, who told me to just be patient while I cleaned up the mess? No one answers. The weight of truth hangs in the air. I've spent years working twice as hard to prove myself, because somewhere along the line, I realized that being perfect was the only way I'd be noticed. Even then, it was never enough. If I succeeded, it was expected. If I faltered, it was proof that I wasn't as capable as Autumn. Autumn's mouth opens, then closes. Her usual quick comebacks have abandoned her. "Press on," my voice steadier now. "Do you remember when I got into grad school? I called to tell you, Mom, and you said, 'That's great, but have you checked in on Autumn? She's been feeling down lately.' That was the biggest moment of my life, and you made me feel selfish for celebrating it." Mom looks down at her plate, her hands twisting in her lap. For years I've kept hoping you'd see me. That one day, I wouldn't have to fight to earn the bare minimum of respect. But tonight I finally understand. I don't need your permission. And I don't need your approval. My chest feels lighter as the words spill out. This is what I've never said aloud, not even to myself. Dad tries to interrupt, but I shake my head. No, you've had your say. Now it's my turn. I slide the contracts back into my portfolio, closing it with a decisive snap. Healing Hands is mine. My career, my responsibility, my success. I will not hand it over to someone who treats it like a plaything, and I will not keep bending myself in half just to fit the family script. The words are final, unyielding. And for the first time in my life, I feel free. Dad leans forward, his hands gripping the table as though sheer force of will can bend me back into obedience. You're being unreasonable, Sierra. Family comes first. Always has, always will. I push my chair back, the legs scraping against the hardwood, the sound sharp enough to cut through his certainty. No, I say, rising to my feet. Family doesn't come first when it demands blind sacrifice. Family comes first when it supports, respects, and builds each other up. What you've asked of me tonight isn't love, it's control. Autumn looks like she wants to protest, but she can't meet my eyes. Mom fumbles with her napkin, folding and refolding it into tighter squares, her silence louder than anything she could say. I've carried this weight for years. I continue steady now. The weight of being the responsible one. Fixer. The invisible backbone. And you know what? I'm done. I gather my portfolio, the leather cool against my palm. For a fleeting second, I let myself look at them. The parents who taught me to doubt my worth, the sister who never realized her shadows swallowed me whole. My chest aches, but there's no bitterness left, only clarity. I don't expect you to understand tonight, I say softly. Maybe you never will. But I need you to hear me. I'm not here to rescue, to cover, or to prove anymore. Healing Hands will thrive because I built it that way. And I'll thrive too, because I finally know I don't need your validation. Their faces blur as I turn toward the door. For once, I don't look back. The evening air outside is crisp, carrying the scent of pine and the faint hum of cicadas. I inhale deeply, letting the cold air burn my lungs. My heart pounds, not with fear but with release. I had come to dinner prepared to defend my clinic. I left defending myself. And in that defense I found freedom. Walking down the steps, I realize the lesson isn't just mine. It belongs to anyone who has ever been asked to shrink so someone else can shine. To anyone told that loyalty means silence, or that love requires erasing yourself. The truth is simpler. Real love doesn't demand sacrifice without recognition. Real family, whether by blood or by choice, celebrates your growth instead of fearing it.